Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. I need you guys to smash that like button. Let's continue this melody series right here, BusyWorksBeats.com. In this video, I will show you how to create those authentic hip hop melodies that go along with gritty drums. So AJ Hall just sent me over a pack called Left Field Drums Volume 5. Not Left Field, Slow Burn Volume 5. And there's a loop in here called Drum Break Bust Out. And we're at 74 BPM, so let's drag this in here. Now, my new favorite plugin for all things like, I'll say like soul or like gritty hip hop is the Reverb by Arturia. I'm actually shocked at how good this thing sounds. Let's load it up. It's called the Reverb Spring 636. This thing is a beast. Okay, so let's open this up. Let's call this the Reverb. So we're going to send our drums over to this Reverb. So let's go to song mode. And it adds out like that watery sound. Okay, we could also double click on our drums and go to stretch mode, and just slow it down to maybe 72 BPM. Griselda has a really slow BPM. Now let's go to our channel rack right here. Let's add some plugins here. We're going to open up a plugin called Expand 2. This is it kind of has everything in one. I call it general MIDI sounds. Let's go here. Let's go to ethnic sounds, and we could also use mallet sounds, like the vibraphone is a great start. So let's go to mallets and vibraphone. Let's turn off any effects on the plugin, and we're going to add our own. Okay, so that's what I'm going to play with the vibraphone here. So I'm playing the notes F to E, and then we're going to go to B, which is the fifth of E. And then C is the fifth of F. So we're really just playing fifths stacked over top of each other. I'll show you how to get that gritty sound out of it. Also, you want to play with a little delay so it's not super quantized. Let's add some more fifths in here. All right, so now I'm going to show you guys how to get that gritty sound effects. So shout out to AJ Hall for sending these drum breaks over. So let's go to our mixer first. We're going to hit Control L, send the sound to the mixer. We're going to send Expand 2 through a reverb, that spring reverb. But also too, we're going to add Fruity Delay 3. This is going to give it that wobbly sound. We're going to turn down the dry level, keep the wet level all the way up, turn the feedback level down, turn delay time all the way down, turn off tempo sync. And the time modulation area here becomes the RC20 effect you guys know. That like wobbly sound. Now, if you want this to affect everything, you want to put this on the master channel, because right now the reverb is not getting this effect. So it's not, you have one that's doing the wobble effect and the reverb's playing the normal version. So it creates like a chorusy sound. So you might want to add this to the entire mix. All right. And then I'll show you guys another. Now we're going to open up Fruity Limiter and we're going to compress the sound. Now I'm going to go to the Expand 2. Let's add Fruity Limiter here. And we're just going to compress the sound pretty heavily. Let's go to compressor mode, pull the threshold down and just mess with this ratio, turn it up. We want a really squash sound, so let's turn up the gain knob here. Now, AJ also has different little effects we can add in here. So let me see if I can find the effect. So let's add these throughout the beat. This is more of like an Alchemist sound effect. Okay, so we're just adding these little sounds in here for texture. little blips like this to create a moving sound. Let's turn it all the way down. Now we can compress the entire track as well with the Fruity limiter. Let's just see how far we can get. We don't want to overly process because the drum's already processed. Let's just see what it sounds like with the limiter on. So don't be afraid to compress. That is part of that like gritty sound, is like over compression. See how all that space is now filled up? And all we have is like one simple sound. Now let's go back in. Let's add expand too. And let's try some ethnic sounds, but also some bass sounds. So we can add this almost like a bass line. Let's go back and record this in. Hold on, yeah, I moved the slider. Okay, let's record this in. So I'm playing the same notes, just downward. It's F, E, and then C, B. So we're gonna wait till the end of the fourth bar. Boom. So I call this the contrast layer here. Let's do it one more time. Okay, so we could just repeat this. Let's pull back some of the drums. Now the cool part about Spring Reverb is the drums sound really good through it. That Arturia, they figured out the perfect start sound. They figured it out. This is really well done. You don't even have to change the preset. So you can really run your drums heavy through it. Let's make the wobble a little more exaggerated. So now it's like super obvious. They also have a limiter built in here and a saturator. You guys can mess with this. Let's see if we can add some like single note bass lines in here. See what we have under the bass. Let's record this in. My finger slipped, so whatever. Let's go in here, and I forgot the plugins on, so it makes my voice sound weird. Okay, so now we have that bass. Simple, just like that. We're gonna make sure the notes don't overlap. copy the same thing over. So my finger slipped on the last note there. All I'm going to do is just replace this first note. So now we have the whole second half of the song. That's really the formula for creating, a composition that feels gritty. Again, you guys could push the sound a little harder with more compression. Don't be afraid to add compression. Let's exaggerate the compression. I feel like we had the perfect kind of sweet spot. I'm gonna show you guys some secret sauce. This is more for experimentation purposes, but there's a plugin called Kilohertz Pitch Shifter. And I like messing with this for like really unique grain that it adds. So we're gonna mess with the grain size. So if you put this on the plugin itself and maybe not the entire drum mix, we could get a really unique smear out of the melody sound. So let's turn this off a correlate. Now we get that like jitter. It's more like a granular pitch shifter. So you guys get the gist. If you guys want to learn more, go to busyworksbeats.com and you guys can learn how to start making melodies today. Peace out, guys. And check out AJ Hall's website for drum breaks for hip hop. Peace out.